we begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Kate, will you please take a roll call?
Yes. Chair Tippett.
Here.
Vice Chair Anderson.
Here.
Commissioner Costello.
Here.
And Commissioner Benson.
Here.
Commissioner Smallwood, Erickson, and Snow have been excused tonight.
Thank you. Okay, our first item of business are our minutes from October 13th. Has everyone had a chance to review those? Are there any corrections or additions?
I wasn't here, so.
Okay, I have one correction. It is under number 6, the consent agenda. The 4th line down, associated with the public hearing, just that here needs to be changed to hearing. That's the only correction I have. With that said, can we have a motion to accept these minutes?
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. We will now commence with our public hearing portion of the meeting. It's going to be outlined as follows. I will first introduce each item. We will then have a report by staff. We will then open it for public comment. After public comment and the public hearing has been closed, we'll hear from our attorney. The commission will then discuss any items that they need to, and we will then go ahead and take a vote on that. So we'll go ahead and start with public hearing matter number 1. Applicant Bruce McMillan, he's representing New Star LLC, is requesting a minor subdivision approval to subdivide a duplex located at 495-497 Acoma Road in the single-family residential duplex overlay zone. Elizabeth Arnold will go ahead and present.
Okay, so this is for a minor subdivision. Acoma Road sits just there. You kind of see it on the northern portion of the Vicinity Map, just behind I-215. So there is an existing duplex there, and they are just subdividing it kind of standard through the duplex to allow for individual ownership. The recommended motion has remained as the same that was included in your staff report.
Is the applicant present? I don't see the applicant. We'll go ahead and open this up for public hearing then. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to make a comment about this item?
I'll close the public hearing.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. The public hearing is now closed. Garrett, do you have any info for us?
Thank you, Chair. So this is an administrative decision. This just means that you as a commission are required to approve the application if it meets all the requirements found in our ordinance. If there are things that need to be corrected first, you can approve with conditions, or if those conditions are not met, that's the only way you can vote to deny the application.
Thank you. Commission, anyone have any comments about this item?
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, but it's already an existing duplex, so they're just
Yeah.
now making it
that's-
for ownership
Yeah.
instead of rental.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll open the floor for a motion.
Okay, I move that we recommend the approval of the minor subdivision located at 495 and 497 Acoma Road, consistent with the findings noted in the staff report.
Second it?
It's been moved and seconded. Can we get a roll call vote, Kate?
Yes. Vice Chair Anderson.
Yes.
Commissioner Costello.
Yes?
Commissioner Benson.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. We'll now move on to public hearing matter number 2. Maria Paredes requests minor subdivision approval to subdivide a duplex located at 7531 South Birch Street in the single-family residential duplex overlay zone. Elizabeth Arnold will present.
Yes. Okay, so similar to the last one, a duplex is currently being constructed on this lot, so it is located just there on Birch Street. The proposal and request is to just subdivide that to allow for individual ownership. We did receive public comment on this, which I should have sent to you today. I will include that as part of the record. I am happy to read that if you would like me to, but just know that there was public comment. Otherwise, the recommended motion has remained the same.
Commissioners, did you get a chance to read those public comments?
I did.
Okay. We'll go ahead and open this up for public hearing. Anyone in the audience have comments regarding this matter?
I move that we close the public hearing.
I second it.
It's been moved and seconded that we close the public hearing. Garrett?
So this is the exact same decision that you made with the last item.
Okay, commissioners, any comments that you'd like to make regarding this?
No, straightforward.
Okay, I'll open the floor for a motion.
I move that we recommend approval of the minor subdivision located at 7331 South Birch Street, consistent with the findings noted in the staff report.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Can we get a roll call vote, Kate?
Commissioner Costello,
Yes.
Commissioner Benson,
Yes.
Vice Chair Anderson.
Yes.
That's been moved and seconded and voted upon. Thank you very much. We'll now go on to the third item. Scott Jasmer requests conditional use permit approval for her vehicle repair business located at 622 West, 7250 South in the Clean Industrial Zone. Elizabeth Arnold will present.
Yes.
There you are.
Okay, so as you said, this is for a conditional use permit to allow for a auto repair shop just located there, not too far from here. This is, as part of the conditional use permit, they did have to meet a certain parking requirement. I believe there was a typo in the staff report, so they do have to provide 16. They've got 3 service bays and then usually 4 employees there at a time, so they did provide enough parking there, and otherwise, conditions of approval are that they should obtain a business license, which they have applied for, and otherwise the motion has remained the same.
Okay, is the applicant present?
Yes,
Do you have anything you'd like to add to the report? You can come up here so we can make sure that we hear you.
no, ma'am. We're a fleet mobile company, so we're not on site most of the time. But outside of that, no, that's
Okay.
pretty clear cut.
Okay, thank you. We'll go ahead and open this up for public comment. Is there anyone here in the audience that has comments regarding this matter?
I'll move to close the public comment.
I second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Garrett?
So this is a conditional use application. This is also an administrative decision. So if this application meets the requirement found in our code, you are obligated to approve it. If there are issues that need to be mitigated, then you can approve with conditions, and only if there's no way to mitigate those issues are you allowed to deny it.
Okay. Commissioners, is there anything you'd like to discuss?
I'll move that we approve the conditions of the conditional use permit for a vehicle repair business located at 622 West, 7250 South, consistent with the findings and conditions noted in the staff report.
I second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Kate, can we please get a vote?
Yes, Commissioner Benson,
Yes.
Vice Chair Anderson,
Yes.
and Commissioner Costello.
Yes.
Okay, that has been approved. Thank you very much. We will now move on to item number 4. Wasatch Residential Group requests an amendment to Chapter 17-7-10.11, Jordan Bluffs, Sub-Area 4 Residential Development of the Midvale City Municipal Code. Adam Olson will present.
Chair Tippett, Adam is on vacation,
Okay.
so I will do that on
Great,
his
thank you so
behalf.
much.
So I'll just leave you for a minute. Yeah. I hope you don't mind if I remove my face mask. Having an accent is one thing, but an accent and a face mask is not really understandable. So this item before you is here due to the developer of the Wasatch Residential Group submitting this item. And in the PowerPoint, you can see here what their intent is, and it was also in the staff report. They would like to decrease the setback for their development, their potential development that's coming up. On the vicinity map here, you can see the subject area, and here is, some images of what you find. This is the southern portion with the existing reserve at View 78 development, which has a 30-foot setback. If you look to the north, this is across the street from the subject property here, the setback is 20 feet. And this is due to the structure of the code. There was an area that had been exempt from the normal 30-foot setback. And the developer has submitted an application with the reason that they believe for their project the 20-foot setback is more appropriate. And if you look at the pictures, after I took these, I thought, well, maybe there is something to this. If you look at this product here and the 20-foot setback, it's very different than this product with a 30-foot setback. It's almost like the two belong together, a more conventional style multifamily development with a larger setback and a more urban style development with a shorter setback. So this is the item before you. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
You have any questions right now, Commissioners? Is the applicant present? Okay, we can go ahead and open this for public hearing, and we may have you back if there's questions that need to be answered. Is there anyone in the audience that has a comment regarding this matter?
I move that we close the public hearing.
I second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Garrett?
So this is a legislative recommendation that you'll be making. So we're looking for your advice as a planning commission with your individual expertise and with your desire to make the community better, to provide input to the city council whether or not the proposed amendment would be a positive thing. So if you believe that this text amendment would be a good thing, you can provide a positive recommendation. Or if you believe that this is something that would not be positive for the community, you can provide a negative recommendation.
Okay.
Would there be any advantage to having the 20 or the 30 foot?
The developer believes it's an an enhancement to his potential project. They were supposed to be here. Apparently they aren't. But that's really where this is coming from. They just believe it's the aesthetics are more appropriate for this type of a setback.
So they'd be happier with the 20-foot rather than the 30-foot?
Yes.
So is the project, does it look similar to what you showed us on the 20-foot? Is that what we're looking at?
I haven't.
More modern like that, more urban looking that he's doing?
I haven't seen the project yet. Maybe I can pass that along. I believe it's been, he's shown a concept.
The concept I've seen is similar to the current 20-foot, or the one that you saw at the 20-foot.
Got
Not
you.
exactly the same product, but
I
that
got
same
you.
urban style.
Okay.
So this would change the whole code of Midville,
Just for that,
or just this one,
just for that
Just this
sub-area,
one.
correct?
Yes, it's
Not
for
for
this
anything
area.
else.
not for anything else. Is there a setback requirement for like on corners? For sight, for view, for like traffic and things, pedestrians?
That's always a concern. I mean, that's where safety really is taken seriously at the corners. So, and the answer is yes.
My only concern usually about granting the 20 instead of the 30, are we setting precedents to other things that are going to come?
Well, in that sub-area 4, we are.
And see, that's what, because, I mean, in the way I feel, a lot of times if you open the door to one, you have to open the door to all. And with being like a corner and safety and, I would almost be willing to, want to stay with the 30-foot.
So we don't have to worry about it further down the road when they come to us?
I mean, now that's my own opinion, but, I've always felt that, if you open the door for one, then when somebody else comes along, well, you did it for them, why, and that's my concern.
Setting a precedent, of course, that's always a consideration. I mean, one has to be cognizant of that.
Yeah,
And, the development community also, they talk with one another and know about one another's projects, so.
yeah. I wonder if this is the developer. Oh, it is, okay.
We are on item 4. Do you want to talk to us about your 20-foot requests, your setback request?
Yes, that would be great.
All yours.
Thank you. I apologize. You guys are moving. Wow.
We're very efficient.
I was going to say that is a good sign.
It's surprising.
Yes. Okay. Let me see. Let me gather my thoughts here. So we went through the approval process, and many of you were here back in 2017 with a development agreement on the sub-area 4, and we did a large-scale master plan, but phase 3 was always a little bit of an unknown as far as the final product goes. And in fact, we wrote the code so that it specifically said phase 3 would need to come back with the large-scale master plan because we just weren't sure of the product. We were sure on 1 and 2, but we weren't on 3. And so it was an unknown. So now we're back. We know the product. I'm working on the site plan, and this is kind of the first step in that process, and then I'll come back with the large-scale master plan and the site plan. But we know what the product is, and so we wanted this is the product here. So it looks like a large house kind of, they call it the big house. I don't know if that's a good term or not, but this is the front elevation, so it faces the road. And what I'm specifically asking for is, you've got, well, also when we wrote this original ordinance, Bingham Junction wasn't in, Ivy wasn't in, Sagini Drive wasn't in. So now those roads are in, and when we wrote it, we had these 30-foot buffers off of those roads. But now that we're looking back on that, we're saying, okay, Bingham Junction is a big road, and it's gonna carry a lot of traffic. Ivy's not as big, but it's a big road, so that buffer makes sense. But Sagini was always supposed to be a narrower residential road. And so we like this product, and we want it up closer to the road. So there's on-street parking on Sagini, and we like that. And this product's got front doors that'll face Sagini. You can see, oh boy, how do I work this thing? Okay, here we go. Right here and right here, and then you've got all these balconies that will face Sagini. So the other thing I wanted to bring up is this text change that I'm asking for only applies to phase 3, because that's the only one that's left. And so phase 3 is this product. So what I'm not asking to reduce that setback on Bingham Junction or Ivy, because they are bigger roads, and I think that's appropriate. But on Sagini, I am asking for 10 foot, so to go from 30 to 20 just on Sagini, so that we can get this building up front, closer to the road. We can have these entrances with sidewalks, lead walks that go right out to the sidewalks. And I don't know if you've been on Sagini, but it has more of a residential feel, and that's what we wanted. You got people parking on it. And anyway, we're super excited about the product and about finishing out phase 3. And we think this is just gonna be, this is a new, I keep calling it a product, but it's a new community and a new design for Wasatch. We haven't done this in Utah yet. This is a great architect. They're, multifamily is their specialty, so we're excited to bring a new product into Jordan Bluffs and to Midvale and really the Wasatch Front. So anyway, I just wanted to give some context, some backstory to why I'm asking for that setback to be changed on Sagini and to bring this building up closer and get that more residential feel. Anyway, I appreciate your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Commissioners, questions?
See, I had brought up before that I was just a little concerned about if we change this, would we be opening the door to other,
Yeah, so this code is specifically for sub-area 4, which is phases 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 2 are built out, so the only thing left is phase 3. So this wouldn't affect any other thing in Midvale. It's just this last phase, and it's just Sagini.
And I guess that I wasn't aware that the road being smaller, and this is the reason that you were doing this.
Yep. And because we want, like I said, we've got these front doors with porches that face Sagini, and we want sidewalks, lead walks that go from that door out to Sagini. And we just felt like 30 feet is quite a bit, and 20 feet, we really want to bring the building closer and have more of that residential feel, but not on the bigger roads.
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions?
I don't.
Can I say anything now? Yeah, well, we're gonna open it to public hearing in just a second. So we talked briefly about corner and safety on corners. So and there was kind of our concern about having the 20-foot setback on a corner with traffic and a safety issue. Does that exist in this?
No, so you're correct, there is a visibility triangle that you measure from the center lines of roads, and we do meet that.
Okay. All right. We'll have you sit down for a minute. We'll go
Thank
ahead
you.
and open this up for public hearing.
I just have one comment. I'm Deanne Neal. I live in Midvale. Where he wanted he specifically said so that they can park on the road. Parking on the road is a huge issue. If you are in a residential area where you have children, you know, they can't see, people can't see them. I just don't know that parking on the road is a good idea. I think they should be parking in garages and in driveways and leave the road visible so that people can see and so that nobody gets hurt.
Thank you. Any other public comments?
I think that's one of the things that we face in every neighborhood that I know of, not only in Midvale, but Murray and throughout the world, that, you know, families in that nowadays, you know, they use their driveway, their garage, but then there's a lot of on-street parking, because I know even on my street, we have a lot of, I just, it's hard to get away from that.
Do you want to address that? You want to come up and address that, please?
If I could.
The 20-foot isn't going to make a difference with the parking on the street.
Yeah.
Not one
Correct.
bit.
And-
So that's kind of our issue is,
20 feet.
Yeah,
that's what we're looking at. We're not looking at anything
Yeah,
else.
but you can
And
address-
But you
but
can
I
take
just
care of
like-
that.
yes,
I'm just
you're
saying.
absolutely right. And when we come back in for site plan approval, and the way we've got it laid out today is all of our parking that's required per the code is within our site. So we're not counting any on-street parking. We're providing everything within our site, but that is a public road. We built it and dedicated it to the city, so we can't control who parks on
Right.
streets, but people do park on streets, and that's just the function. But we will be providing,
But each of your unit will have the adequate amount of
yes,
parking.
yes,
so-
per code, it's all within our project. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Any other public comments regarding this matter?
I'll move to close the public comments.
Second it?
It's been moved and seconded. Okay, can we get a vote, please?
Or,
Is this for the public hearing?
Yeah, just closing the public hearing.
Okay, you can just take an oral.
Okay,
Uh,
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Commissioners, is there anything else you need to discuss?
Yeah, I feel a little bit differently about knowing that the road is smaller. That it's not as big as the other roads. I was kind of working in conjunction with the larger roads. And I could definitely see something there, but where it is a smaller road.
and if it
I
just
was a little-
applies, if it really just applies to this, and we were worried about the other phases, I think we're probably pretty
Yeah,
Yeah, we've
okay.
already-
but that was my concern at first.
Absolutely.
I'd be willing to make a,
Let's
Oh.
hear from Garrett.
Oh,
really
I'm
quick
sorry.
Before we do that.
sorry.
So this is a legislative decision, so you're just making a positive recommendation to the city council to make the text amendment or a negative recommendation to the city council to make the amendment.
Colleen?
Okay, I'll make a move. I move that we recommend approval of the request to amend Chapter 17-7-10-11 relating to the landscape setbacks, build 2 lines of the Midvale City Municipal Code with the findings noted in the staff report.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Kate, can we get a vote, please?
Yes. Vice Chair Anderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Costello,
Yes?
Commissioner Benson.
Yes.
Okay, that, we will go ahead and forward this to the city council. Thank you. That brings us to item 5, which is an amendment to chapter 17-7-10.12, Jordan Bluff sub-areas 1 through 3 development of the Midvale City Municipal Code.
Chair Tippett and members of the commission, this item is city initiated. It's also a co-text amendment. And the issue came up that the development around Zions Bank's headquarters is also putting solar arrays in. If you walk on the Jordan River Parkway right now, you actually can see the construction on this picture here. And it's a practical consideration. If you have these solar panels in a relatively public area, you would like to keep people out of them so that things don't get destroyed. And our code, however, didn't let that happen. And that's why you see this amendment for Chapter 17.710. And it basically is really narrowed down to this specific case of a solar energy system to be able to put a non-site obscuring fence around it. And the staff recommendation on this item is to approve.
Okay. Commissioners, do you have any comments yet? Okay, we'll go ahead and open this up for a public hearing. Anyone have comments on this?
I move that we close the public hearing.
It's been moved and seconded. Garrett?
So this is the exact same thing as the last decision, legislative decision, with providing some direction or recommendation for the city council.
Okay.
Talk amongst ourselves.
Do you have any comments about this? Anyone have any?
Well, you don't blame them. That's a lot of money they put into that. It ought to be protected. I mean, it's not going to be intrusive or anything, I'm assuming.
Well, it's on that slope that goes right down to the trail, so that's kind of the problem, is you need to be able to protect that. So-
Right.
I move that we recommend approval for the request to amend Chapter 17-7-10.12 relating to fencing and screening standards of the Midvale City Municipal Code with the findings noted in the staff report.
I second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Kate, can we get a vote, please?
Yes, Commissioner Costello,
Yes?
Commissioner Benson,
Yes.
and Vice Chair Anderson.
Yes.
Okay, we'll go ahead and forward our recommendation to the city council. Thank you. That brings us to our discussion item. We're done with our public hearings. Discussion item is, we discussed last meeting a little bit about our planning commission engagement and seeing how we could inform the public a little bit more about what we do as planning commissioners. So we are just going to open up that for discussion. Anyone have, since our last meeting, have any ideas or comments regarding that?
I'm anxious to hear what we came up with.
Well, we just discussed it. We just decided that as a commission, it was important to have the community understand what the Planning and
Right.
Zoning Commission does. How we're going to go about that is what we need to discuss.
Right.
And so that's the discussion.
Well, obviously, we're on social media.
We are,
Midvale is.
we are. Yeah.
I don't know if we could be better about it. I mean, that's kind of time consuming for our staff to have to worry about that as well.
I'm wondering if, I know
For
that,
an open house?
yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking. If
Mhm.
there's, I know that, with elections, we may be having a new mayor, and I'm wondering if the city is planning on doing some kind of an open house for that, and if so, could the Planning and Zoning Commission maybe have
A booth?
just a place where we can share what we do? That's a
An open house
possibility.
would be brilliant.
But if we could do it in conjunction with something else, yeah.
Right.
Redevelopment, something, I don't know. Is there anything coming up that you know about?
No, I don't believe that there's an open house. I mean, we have open houses for some developments, but there isn't one with the new
the potential of a new mayor coming in,
Okay,
there's
do
not
you
an
know,
open
is the
house.
city doing anything for Christmas holidays? They did the Main Street thing for Halloween. Are we doing, is there a plan to do anything for Christmas?
There is going to be a holiday event that's being planned on Main Street. That is on
December 3rd,
December 3rd.
6 to 9. So there's a possibility that we could either, have a table
If we
or
could
a
maybe do
booth or a,
something at, I mean,
Yeah.
what do you think, commissioners? Do you think that that would be helpful, the
I
kind of?
don't think it would be a bad thing to put it out on social media and say, we're having an open house, we'd love for you guys to attend specifically for what we do, and see if there's a lot of interest.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be nice to keep it separate, because you've got a lot of people that'll be coming in for something different.
I think that's a
Keeping
great
it
idea.
separate,
Yeah.
it's okay for us to call a meeting and say, let's have an open house, so people know, so that we can say, you know what, these things come before us, and honestly, our hands are tied, that we can't interject all of our feelings about it. We may feel the same way as the public, but because of situations, that's why we refer to our attorney, because of situations, we can't go against the legislative law. I mean, we can't. We may feel the same way as the residents,
But we can't be biased.
but we
Yeah.
can't be biased with it. And so it's kind of, for them to understand, I think it would be really great for us to be together, all of us together, and just
So
have
what do you think about maybe doing that in January?
I think that'd be good to start the new year.
Yeah. Can we
We could just
propose,
meet
can
in
we
the other
propose
room.
that to the city, and maybe we just do a, before our meeting, or?
A meet and greet
Yeah,
before.
a meet and greet maybe before a planning and zoning meeting, one of our January meetings, and we open that up to the public, and,
Is there a simple way to put what our goal as a planning commission, what we can and can't do? I mean, is there a simple PowerPoint, have a handout for people to say,
You know what I
I
was
mean-
thinking too, is with, we could maybe get in contact with Laura Magnus,
yeah,
because she does a lot of that for the city.
that's
And
true.
maybe she could,
That's a good
give us
idea.
some points of,
Yeah, let's get her going on this with us.
Yeah, one of the things
I'd take
maybe,
her to lunch.
we often put articles into the Midvale newspaper. We could maybe do
Yes.
the role of the planning commission in there and have a little article on.
That would be,
So
really
we could
great.
talk with Laura about doing that.
yeah, I think that would be good.
I just think it would be helpful. I mean, we're not gonna have hundreds of people
No,
that are
not
gonna
by any
care,
means.
but we do have some citizens that do care about what we do, and I think it would be best if we could let them know what our jobs really are.
Yeah,
We talked once, probably maybe close to a year ago, about when they sent out those notices for people, that what, they were gonna put something on them about actually what we can and can't do, so, cause we get all those letters and stuff from people, and like you say, our hands are tied on a lot of the stuff. I don't know if that ever came to
well, I think
be.
this would take care of it if we did
Yeah.
it in the newspaper, and if we have a half an hour before
Yeah.
our next
We just do a
in
meet and greet.
January,
Yeah.
a meet and greet, and then have our meeting. We can put it out and say, if you're interested, we'd love to meet you
Yeah.
and talk to you, and we'll make sure we're here. I won't get caught in traffic.
No, I think that sounds like a great idea. What
I
do
do
you,
too.
what do you guys think?
We're
Yeah.
in charge, they're
City?
not.
Well,
See?
they have to help us, though. They have to help us.
let's not overstep our bounds.
Okay.
We will, we'll talk with Laura about it and
That
see
would
what
be
we can
great.
do.
Okay.
Then we'll report back to you on the
Thanks.
I like
plan.
it.
Yeah, I think January, if we can do something in January, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
Start out the year perfect.
Yeah.
And I think we always have the second and the fourth. Maybe we could plan it for like the fourth, because, that'd give them an extra
Year's.
couple weeks after the
Yeah,
holidays,
yeah, yeah. Our second meeting in January.
Mhm.
And by that time, the journal would be out too,
Yeah.
so that would also be helpful.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, let's shoot for that. So then we have a staff update, upcoming meetings and projects.
Yes,
You can stay here if you want, you don't have to go
Okay.
in front of
all
us.
right. Thank you.
We can hear you just fine, we're right here.
So, for for the December 8th meeting. Currently, we project that there are going to be 2 items, a zone map amendment and also a ordinance update. And the ordinance update is trying to implement some items that came from the Utah legislature. It's basically to bring us more into compliance with the state code.
Okay, so our next meeting is December 8th, correct? Okay.
Yes.
We don't have a second meeting in November, and we only have one meeting in
I'll
December.
be on a cruise, I can't come to a meeting.
Excuse me. Just let Kate know that you need to be excused, please.
No.
With that, it is,
Time to adjourn.
someone needs to make that motion.
I'd like to adjourn this meeting at 7:43.
I don't think the clock hasn't been changed, so.
Yeah.
I'd like to adjourn this meeting at, 6:45. Sorry.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This meeting is now adjourned.
All right.